So, I am partaking in the Michael J. Fox Foundation weekly baking challenge for the fundraising for research and help to fight Parkinson's disease. It was either a weekly baking challenge or to walk my dog like 300 miles. And I don't know if you see my dog, but I'm not walking my dog 300 miles.
As she walks through the background of the shot.
As you can tell, me walking my dog, it takes time to do that, and I don't have a lot of time. But I do have time to kind of bake. My wife is out of town, and she left the kitchen to me. So if it looks like it's a mess, it's because we're guys, and
you know.
So what I am baking tonight is what is known as fluffy sunshine cake, and I got it out of this A Better Homes and Garden book, and I cannot even tell you how old it is. It was old enough. It was so old that the cover was fading, and it said new book, but it's like we've got like 3 of those that say new book, so it obviously wasn't a new book. It's just kind of an older book, but
we've got a couple generations of that.
Generations of this. So bear with me as we make this fluffy sunshine cake. It does have 3/4 cups shortening, 1 tablespoon of grated orange peel, 1.5 tablespoons of grated lemon peel, 3 eggs, which I actually have an extra egg over here, which right here, 2.5 cups of sifted cake flour, which is right here, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 3/4 cups of milk. So to start right off, it says is we're going to need to combine the shortening and the orange and the lemon peels together. So I'm going to start putting that already into the mixer here.
And let me go over there.
Just kind of push this in there. Nice little handy dandy tool my wife had, I love. And it says and orange and lemon peel. So the orange peel and the lemon peel. And we decided to use a Eureka lemon for this rather than a Meyer lemon. The Eurekas, I believe, are pretty much what is used for like lemonade, because a little more of a bitter taste to it. As I look over, actually I should just put this here. And it says to mix well. And then it says to add sugar gradually. So I'm going to start adding it just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit at a time. And Cindy, if you've seen her channel, by the way, you're probably going to be seeing this on one of 2 channels, or both channels, Travel by Nature, which is, Logan and mine's, main channel, and then Miss Cindy's Kitchen, which is her channel. So you'll be seeing that on her channel too. So because I really want to be able to get out there and share this, this fight for Parkinson's disease. I'm going to have a link down in the description where you can go to donate for this. But this is a kind of a personal cause of mine, as Miss Cindy's father had Parkinson's for many years, and it was like really, really brutal to watch him, go through the process of that disease. It's just really horrible. stop for a minute. I think I can. She's got this stuff here. I'll use this. Or a bit. Oh, I didn't want that. Didn't want that to happen. Just gonna shove it down a little. She says it's gonna take. I was talking with Cindy about this. She says, it's gonna take about 5 minutes for it to kind of get nice and fluffy and make sure I got it. Up here. So we're gonna wait for a little bit to get this all nice and cream and nice and fluffy. And when we come back, we'll show you how it looks and we'll start adding in more of the ingredients. So be right with you. So it looks like it's going along pretty good. She said, in order for it to be nice. Oh, this looks really good. Look at that. Light and fluffy. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Push it on down for a little bit. Now you understand this. I don't do a whole lot of cooking or baking because I have Miss Cindy, so I don't need to do a whole lot of cooking or baking. She does a lot of that for me. I don't miss a lot of meals around here. As you can see. But this was the kind of a nice adventure for me to take on. And this was a nice little challenge for me to take on. So now it says to add the eggs and to add them one at a time. So
and crack them beforehand?
I'm going to crack them beforehand. Well, yeah, I'm going to crack it beforehand. I'm going to put this back up. Now remember, she says always put it in a separate vessel. Because that way
you can tell if there's eggshells in it.
You look. I don't see any. It says here to add them one at a time. So you can see it's starting to get really good and mixed in there. It says beat well after each. I think it's doing a pretty good job. Oh, I actually do have a shell in this one. Oh, the horror! I got a shell I gotta dig out. This is actually one of the reasons why she says you want to check before, because you don't want the shell getting into your mixture. Look at that fat shell. Look. See any shells in there? I don't see any shells in there.
Nope. Looks good to me.
We'll let that mix. Look at that, all just mixing together. Goose is baking a cake. For no particular reason at all, but to earn money, to make money for the Michael J. Fox Foundation of Parkinson's. Woo! Yeah, look at that. Now it's really starting to come together now. It's interesting because when I told Miss Cindy, when I told my wife I was going to be doing this, she's like, "So you're just going to get like you're going to go to like the store and get one of those like packages of brownies and just bake them, right?" And I said, "No, I want to do this like you do it." And she's like, "Oh," and then she went out of town. So that way she didn't have to. That way she didn't have to taste my creation. So
yeah,
we're gonna
that's my job.
So we're gonna let this. Let this mix. If I find the right speed. So come on back over here.
Dog.
And the sift says now we need to sift together the flour, the baking powder, and the salt. And I got a bigger thing here. And I can't find our sifter, so we got this little nice little strainer thing here. And figure let's just take the baking powder, put it in the bowl, take the salt, put it in the bowl, because it's supposed to be all together. And we're just going to kind of gently
No.
So what I've done is I've kind of like, you know how you shake it, and then so you shake it a little bit.
You can also tap it on the bowl.
And I kind of like just, you know. Now, you always know when I'm in the kitchen because I always leave a mess. So, and I guess the purpose of sifting, I guess, is to get a lot of the
clumps
that aren't gonna work in the. And it looks like a lot of this pretty much went through. There was just only a little bit of clumps that didn't go through. And I have to have the recipe right here because
you don't got it memorized?
Wouldn't I love to have had it memorized? It says sift together, add to cream mixture. So I'm gonna, rather than make a mess, but I already have.
You're gonna mix it by hand?
Yep, I'm going to actually gradually. In there,
and then come back over there. Ooh.
Don't do that again. Actually, let's just turn this down a little bit.
Probably just keep it on the lowest setting, that way it doesn't
right now.
start snowing in the kitchen.
Well, you know.
There we go. Now it's starting
to come together.
Wow, there, we almost had a white Christmas in April.
Hey, no one ever accused me of being a really neat, clean kind of baker. It's like, when I had jobs when I was like a lot younger, I was working in kitchens, and people always knew I was working it because I'd have a mess everywhere. So they're like, "How in the world do you do that, boy? How do you make such a mess?" But I just do. So it also says to add the lemon juice and then the milk, a small amount at a time. So. There we go. It's really not starting to go. You can really not see it turning into a batter now. No, I don't know if any of you have. I don't know if any of you have relatives or know someone who suffers from Parkinson's, but you know, I know when I watched my father-in-law, it really took a toll on him. Not necessarily because, you know, of the shaking that goes along with, I know a lot of people talk about the shakes that go along with Parkinson's, but he had a hard time, at one time he had a really hard time speaking. He had a hard time speaking, and it got so bad for me personally. It was like I was only able to get like every third or fifth word, and it was really hard because there are times where it's like he would say something to me, and I would try to have to put together the puzzle that was just with what the pieces I had, and you could tell it was frustrating for him because. I mean, he was a very smart, intelligent man. He worked, you know, he worked in a hospital. He was like, I think it was like a lab tech. He was, I think he was the guy where, you know, where you like, you draw blood, you take it in for all those tests. Like, he was the guy who like ran those tests and make sure that, you know. And so he was very smart, very intelligent, Army vet, like past master of his lodge. He's just very, you know, and to see him try to talk because you knew everything was going on, you know, he was very smart, everything was going on upstairs. He just couldn't really communicate. And then it got worse, so bad where it started affecting him when he would eat because he would choke sometimes on his food. And I remember my mother-in-law would have to like cut his food real small. And for anything that he had to drink, she'd put this thickener in it, which was like disgusting. I mean, it was disgusting. Imagine like being given a cup of coffee that's like the consistency of chocolate pudding. Okay, that was what he was, you know. But there was a hazard of him choking on his food. So, you know, I just remember those times, you know, where. I remember the man he was before Parkinson's. I remember the man he was after Parkinson's. He was still the same guy upstairs. He was still very, very smart. But man, it really, you know, it's a disease that really takes a toll on not just the person who has it, but the people who have to live with him and for all the caretakers of people with Parkinson's. So it's one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing this. I want to do this because I want to get, you know, the word out there, and I want us to make as much money as possible for the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's. So now that I've been sitting here talking, rattling, our batter is sufficiently mixed. So I have this nice big cake pan here.
Big round cake pan.
Let me do something real quick. Hold on. I forgot to preheat the oven, so. $375. So, It bakes for about 25 to 30 minutes on 375. It says to put a line of paper down. I don't know why. But I think it's because, I think back then we didn't have all the nonstick stuff. Back then, I'm wondering if I should just spray it or put something there, but I'm going to go with it. The best part about this is that Logan gets a chance to have the beater.
Woohoo!
But let me just pour this in here. Oh yeah. Usually you use a 9-inch pan for these, but we couldn't find our 9-inch pan. It is
pans all went missing.
Yeah, pans went all missing. I'll put this right here for right now. Scraper. Must have scraper. I asked Miss Cindy one time, what's your most important tool? She said yes. But she uses a lot of scrapers, which always makes it easy for me to shop for her come gift time. Give her a scraper. Let's just kind of whip this around a little bit so that we can even it out. Now here's the interesting thing. I wanted to here's just a nice big disclaimer. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay? I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm having fun doing it, and I think that's the most important thing. I mean, even Miss Cindy will tell you that the most important thing, one of the most important things about cooking and baking is to have fun with it. You will only, what's the word I'm looking for? You will only bake your first cake once. After that, it's not your first cake.
Mm. Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. So this is a fluffy sunshine cake. We're gonna put it in the oven for, it says, sorry for the pauses. I'm trying. Why won't you let me in my phone? There you are. It says 25 to 30 minutes on 375. And when we come back, we'll show you the cake. And maybe I'll even be ambitious enough to even make some frosting to go with it. But
ooh,
as of right now, we're just making a cake. So we'll see when we get back. All right, and we're back. And we got the cake out of the oven. We had to cook it, or I should say bake it, for about another 10 minutes because of the bigger pie plate or pie pan. So, but it looks like it's come out pretty good. We're not going to do any frosting for this tonight, but I'm going to get Logan a nice big, see if I can give him a nice big piece of cake here. Since he was nice enough to stay up with me to do this. See if I can get this.
You can get it out of the pan.
If I can get it out of the pan. Oh, let's do this. Oh, what do you want? You want a piece of cake too? There we go.
Ooh, it is fluffy.
Oh, that steaming piece of cake there.
Steamy.
Put this here. Get this piece over here that I pretty much almost destroyed. I'll put this piece over here for you. And I'm going to get you a fork. And I'm going to take the camera and let you have a bite.
Woohoo!
Is that a piece of fluffy sunshine?
It is. You can faintly taste the citrus in there. And like, remember you said you were thinking about a citrus butter frosting?
Yeah.
I think with that on there, that would be incredible. I love the texture. It is nice and fluffy, as the name suggests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very good.
Very good.
All right, I'm going to hand the camera back to you. And I want to thank you very much for coming along with me on this. As I enjoy my cake in just a little bit. Like I said, the link in the description takes you to the where you can donate to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. For me, just donate what you can. $5, $10, $20, whatever you can. I know times are tough. I know times are really tough for a lot of people. And but if there's, like I said, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would, find it within yourself to just make a donation. And just see what we can do to eradicate Parkinson's disease. So as I go, I'm reminded to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Again, I don't usually do this, but I will be back next week for another episode of this weekly baking challenge, and hopefully I won't burn the house down. Actually, Miss Cindy should be back by then, so she'll probably make sure I don't burn the house down. So until then, see you later.